Well, hello everybody, and I am really we have been having so much fun in the Wayback Machine here, and I just want to welcome everyone to the Breakthrough Business Facebook Give Back series. And my buddy, I mean, it has been a while. He put up a picture on Facebook earlier today that I'm going, did I look that young at some point? But it's so fun to reconnect and to just have the conversation start like it never ended. So Dr. Will Moreland is in the house. And Dr. Will, thank you so much for being here. And I got to tell you, I am so jealous. You're on the island of St. Martin, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On the beautiful island of St. Martin. And Gary, I'm super ecstatic about being here with you, my man.
You know, it's one of those things that you create such relationships in this industry of speaking and coaching, and the synergy that happens is very special. But you know, this program is not about you and me. It's about sharing with the community. And your title today on how to create a genius life. I heard you do one of your Facebook lives on this. What, about a week ago, something like that. And it was so brilliant that I reached out and said, you know, would you come on and just be able to share? So, briefly, just kind of tell everybody who you are and where you came from and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so the short version, I'm a guy that is just committed to living his best life and helping as many people as possible do that. Over the last several years, I've been able to author over 50 plus books. I've been able to travel all around the world and share this message about creating your genius life. And now I recently moved to the beautiful island of St. Martin, where I just focus on training other speakers, authors, and consultants on how to amplify their voice and create whatever is their genius life, because it's personal for all of us. So that's how I invest my days nowadays, Gary, man. Just I walk on the beach and I come here to the office and I just get to support so many people in their mission and their vision and their dream. And I'm absolutely having a ball, my man.
Well, I tell you, you had to throw in there and walking on the beach. I mean, I'm in the middle of the country, you know, and I'm a beach guy. I always say that I love the ocean. My wife loves the mountain, and I lost, but
Right.
she loves the ocean too when I take her. But you know, one of the things I do want to let everyone know. Uh, you're a consultant to coaches and authors, but you're the real deal because you were one of the most sought after speakers on the seminar, the main stages out there. And so you're coming from experience, and that's what I like. When I work with my partner there, where we do the speaker training, is that we both between us have over 2,000 stages that we've been on. And so this is something that I really, really emphasize when I bring someone on is you have the credibility because you have been there and you are teaching from that vast knowledge on that. So, you know, you and I really do come from a very similar place where a lot of people say, you know, what are the things that will give you the genius life or whatever? You like to come from what is the hindrance? What's the things that will keep you from that? And I think that is really more important than looking for the things that will give it to you. In essence, it's the same thing at times. But we have, when people understand that, you know, we can get stuck and how to get out of it. So what do you see as the hindrance for achieving that genius life?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We both talk about this a lot, and you talk about getting traction after you got stuck. And one of the major things that I find with the majority of the people that I talk to is fear. They fear going after their best life because for so long they've been, sold this story of this is what your life should be. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to get a safe job. You're supposed to work on this job until you're 65 years old and hope that you live another 10 years into retirement. And so a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. What does the best life look like? What does it look like on the other side? I know what I have today, even if I don't really like it. You know, one of the things, Gary, I had the great pleasure of driving my kids to school every single day. And it was a great pleasure. But at the same time, Gary, it was one of the saddest things that I would ever see, because I would point out to my kids and I would say, you see that person in that car? You see how angry they look at 7 o'clock in the morning? Because they're probably going to a job that they don't like. They've probably created a job, a lifestyle that they don't like. And I say, look around. It was probably the most dangerous time of the day, because so many people are disengaged with driving because they're upset that they have to get up early to go to a place that they really don't love. And when you talk to these people about escaping, you know, about leaving. And I'm not one of those proponents that everybody's going to be an entrepreneur or everybody has to run their own business, but I am a proponent that you should run your own life, and your life should mirror what you really want from your heart. And so when I start working with a lot of my clients, the fear factor, Gary, is just the unknown. If I do that, what happens? And they think so much on failure versus success that they actually do get stuck, man, in their own way. It's really nothing when you come down to it. It's really nothing else stopping you except yourself.
You know, you hit on a couple of really main points that I really relate to. Is that you said at one point, getting people focused on what they want. And in my experience, that is a challenge because most people don't even know what they want. Is that something you really work with people to be able to open up the what if box to really say that, you know, virtually anything you want or want to become is possible, and then design it from that? Is that part of that fear model?
You know, Gary, that's interesting because one of the crown jewels to our coaching is called core coaching, CORE, core coaching. And that C stands for clarity. We can't go anywhere. You know, I love flying, and I know you love flying. I see you at the airports and going to the private hangars and things like that. Before that plane takes off, you have to let the tower know where you're going. You can never just say, I'm going for a joyride. I just want to be up in the friendly skies. No, you have to have, even if you say that you just want to joyride, even joyriding has to have a destination. Even joyriding has to have a destination. And so we work heavily on clarity. And sometimes, Gary, to be truthful with you, it takes us a month or so to even get off of that phase, because I make them go back and really examine, what does your ideal day look like? What does your ideal month look like? What does your ideal year look like? What is your ideal next 2 to 3 years look like? And many people have never been challenged in this direction. They've never been challenged to go that deep and to really see what they really enjoy, because as I said earlier, they just bought someone else's idea about what life should look like, about what day-to-day should look like. And many people, you know, I tell my clients this: when you were little, we had just such a vivid imagination. Our imaginations would run wild. And then we blame it on growing up. And they say, you know what, I'm grown. I don't have time to think like that anymore. I don't have time to imagine like that anymore. And I tell them all the time, that's your absolute problem. You stop imagining. You stop dreaming. We used to play this game, Gary, as my grandmother would drive down the street. We would play this game called That's My Car. And me and my sisters and cousins, we would pick out the best cars and we would say, that's my car. That's my car. And we would pick those cars, not knowing how much they cost, not knowing, you know, any of that. We just knew I like that car. But then we get older and we say, oh, that car is $60,000. That car is $70,000. And we stop imagining and we stop dreaming.
So I have no idea the answer of a question that was popping into my head. I love your story with your grandma. What kind of car was it that you were riding in?
So we were riding in like a old LTD Ford right? And we used to call it the battle axe. It was an old rusted LTD Ford, and we called it the battle axe. But it got us to where we needed. But we dreamed about a better car, man.
I tell you, the reason I brought that up is like my car, one of my first car was a 1963 Studebaker Army Green station wagon. And I grew up in Palm Springs, and it was a chick magnet for sure. But you see Will right now, and I mean, you're sharp, you're articulate, you're a doctor, and but your background, you had to make choices coming from where you weren't built with, or born with a silver spoon in your mouth or a golden spoon. It was that's what I so respect about you, is that you have that background to where it wasn't that what I call the lucky sperm club. And but maybe it was, because now we have choices and we have a bigger benefit to the community. And so that I just wanted everybody to, as they see you today, this is the point in time that in 10 years you're going to see a much brighter, bigger person as well. But it's Will knows the journey out of the forest, if you will. So let's go on to what do you see as the biggest benefit of living a genius life? Because sometimes we won't take the journey unless we know the reward is big enough.
I love that. I love that outlook. I was just sharing with a client earlier today. If the reward is worth it, the journey is worth it. And so it's very important to know what that reward is. And for me, I tell anybody, I think at the heart of any of us, Gary, we're servants. We love to serve individuals. And you're not going to be able to serve at the highest level if you're not serving from your place of passion, if you're not serving from what I call your genius. And so when we talk about the biggest benefit, I write in my book, Genius Potential, I talk about all throughout your life that you're probably going to get hints of your genius. My genius has always been communication. But think about this. When you're a little kid, if you grew up like me, Gary, you were told that kids should be seen and not heard. So now here it is. My genius is to communicate. My genius is to talk. And from the beginning, it starts to get suppressed. Then I go into the school system. The school system tells my mother, you know what? Will is a pleasure to have in class. The only problem is he just talks too much. Shut him up, right? And then we hear things like, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Well, Gary, you and I know, no, talk is not cheap. Talk is very lucrative. We built lifestyles off of talking. But I didn't get to experience my genius until I got into my mid-20s, when now I could embrace that I was a communicator, because now we had, okay, he can be a speaker. Back when I was growing up, we didn't have this. We didn't have, you can be a professional speaker or anything like that. And so for me, the joy of operating from your genius potential is that you get to serve from your true essence, your true heart. And there's no better feeling, and you know this, to be on that stage, or even if it is your passion to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. But what I call your genius zone is nothing like being in that genius zone, Gary.
And the thing that I've experienced, and I don't remember, were you an athlete in school?
I was.
I played ball, I played football, and in any sport, they always call it the zone. To where once you get in that rhythm, that all it takes is balance, and you're able to achieve a greater impact, a greater influence, a greater whatever that greater is for you. And it really comes down to bone. So I love that. So we're going to take a little bit of a sidestep here. And, one of the things that I ask for every one of my guests on the program is to have a free gift, a free give back to everyone that takes the time, their most valuable asset, their time, to watch and to connect with the program. So, Dr. Will, would you let everyone know what you have for them?
I will. I'm excited because I get to, as I said earlier, work with authors and speakers and consultants and leaders and pretty much anybody who wants to make an impact. So if you have a service or if you have a product and you want to get it in front of your ideal client, well, marketing and amplifying your voice is a big part of that. So what I want to share with your audience, Gary, is a free video, a marketing video that I did as a part of a series of videos that I call my 10M speaker success formula. So if they simply go to the School of Genius, /thinkific.com, they'll find that free video right on that page and they'll be able to experience it. And I'll drop the link, Gary. I'll drop the link on the feed here so they can easily access it. So don't worry about trying to remember all of that, but it's the School of Genius .thinkific.com. But I'll drop the link, Gary, to make it real easy for them to get it.
Very cool. And I just want to encourage everybody to go get that. And it'd be a neat way for you to get a little flavor, a little taste of, what Dr. Will is all about. And, it's something that is, taking that next step. And this is one of those opportunities for you to do that for you, no matter what occupation, product, or service you have. So, Will, what I'd like to do, and I do this on every program, is I'm the type of person, and I know you are too, that we like action steps. We don't just like theory. We just don't like knowledge. How do we apply it? So what would you give the audience as the 3 basic or best tips that they should be doing right now to move to that next level, whatever that level is?
Yep. 3 things that I always suggest to people. And the first one is, we talked a little bit about it, but the first one is, I would say, give yourself the gift of clarity. And how you do that is, I want you to take an hour, maybe 2 hours, and sit with your thoughts and get out a notepad and ask yourself, if I continue to do what I'm doing and my life doesn't change from this point forward, if my life doesn't change from this point forward, will I be happy? Will I be happy? If nothing changed from this point forward, if I kept doing what I'm doing, will I be happy? And if the answer is no, then I want you to write down what your best life looks like. What does your absolute best life look like? And I don't want you to be cheap with your dreams. I don't want you to hold back. Dreaming is free, so don't be cheap with your dreams. And then I want you, after you write this down, I want you to look at your list. And I then want you, the second thing I want you to do is ask yourself, what is one thing? Not all the things, but what is one thing that I can do right now to start moving me in that direction? So number 1, I want you to write down a list, get very clear on what your ideal life looks like. What does happiness look like for you? Number 2, I want you to select one thing that you can do, whether it's read a book, listen to a podcast, just one thing. And then the third thing that is very key, I want you to go public with it. And when I say public, I want you to find one person that you can go have a conversation with that is 2 to 3 steps ahead of you, that you have access to. You have Gary. If you're listening, you have Gary. Reach out to someone that you can share this dream with, that they're not going to say, oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's no, don't do anything like that. Find someone who has already taken that step to live their best life and get in contact with them. So get clear on what is happiness to you. Get one action step that you can do to start driving yourself closer to that. And then find one person that you can go public with to let them know, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. This is the direction I want to go over the next 10, 15, 20 years of my life. I think if they do that, Gary, they'll be well on their way headed to their genius life.
I don't think if they do it, they will. I think they will if they do it.
If they do it. I certainly agree, my friend.
I mean, in about a minute, 90 seconds, in just 90 seconds, everyone, what Dr. Will just gave you is actually the roadmap, no matter where you are in your success. Notice I said in your success because you're in your success right now. It just may not be at the level that you think you should, and quit shooting on yourself, where you think you should be. And so by taking what Dr. Will just gave you in those 90 seconds, and it makes it seems too simple. And that's the thing that, I have found when I've been teaching a lot of the things that I do, my biggest challenge is people think it's too simple, so it's not valuable. This is the foundation, the rock that you can build your career, your success on. And Dr. Will is a great resource for this as well. So I just want to thank everyone for being on the program and being such a loyal, if I can use the word fan, of everyone that has been and supportive of everyone that has been coming on the programs. We will be bringing these to you again. I have a number of people lined up. I would really like to request, if you're not already a subscriber of my YouTube channel, just go over to YouTube and hit that little button to subscribe, because when you do that, you'll be notified every time we drop a new video, a new interview, a new anything on the YouTube channel. And we put quite a bit out there. So, Will, thank you. I just, from the bottom of my heart, I mean, you're one of those special people that, when we go to events, when we meet people, it's about the relationship. And we haven't talked in a number of years, but, reconnecting here and over the last, week or so, it has felt like there was no time lapse. And that tells me that there was a real relationship. It just, we're doing what we do. So with that, I always, always, always leave the program with the guest giving us the final word, the send off, the words of wisdom that we can take into the rest of our day, rest of our week, the rest of our year. They'll make a difference. So, Dr. Will, it's all yours.
Last thing I would say, I'm going to give you the magic word that will change everything in your life. Take action. Action changes everything. Just take action. Take action scared, take action afraid, but just take action. And I'm telling you, once you start taking action, you'll be one step closer to living your genius life.
Well, and thanks everyone again for being on this program, the Breakthrough Business Facebook Give Back Series. We'll see you on the next episode.